Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. So, here we are, halfway through the 2025 NFL season, and the Cleveland Browns find themselves at a crossroads. It's a season that, honestly, has been filled with a lot of ups and downs. But more than anything, it's been a season that has stirred up quite a bit of speculation about the future of this team. Now, if you're a Browns fan, you're probably feeling a mix of frustration and hope. Frustration because, despite the talent and the potential that many of us saw at the beginning of the year, the team is sitting at just 1-5 after 6 weeks. That's a tough spot to be in, especially when you consider the expectations that were set during the offseason, with many fans and analysts thinking this team could make a push for the playoffs or even surprise everyone as a sleeper contender. But here's where things get really interesting. The slow start has sparked a flurry of trade rumors, and Cleveland's front office has been busy making moves that signal they're not just sitting back and waiting for things to turn around. Already, we saw the team part ways with Joe Flacco, the veteran quarterback who was brought in for depth purposes, and Greg Newsome, one of their promising young defensive backs. These moves are clear indicators that Cleveland is possibly gearing up for a rebuild, or at least a strategic reshuffling, to better position themselves for the future. And if you follow NFL insider chatter, you've probably noticed that more trades are expected to be on the horizon, which is a sign that the Browns are not afraid to shake things up. Now, naturally, with so much movement, speculation about key players has started to heat up. One name that comes up repeatedly is Myles Garrett. For those of you who have been following the Browns closely, you know how vital Garrett has been since he arrived in Cleveland. He's been a dominant force on the defensive line, a true game wrecker, and a leader both on and off the field. But here's the twist: Garrett had publicly requested a trade at the beginning of the 2025 offseason. That's a pretty bold move, folks. But what's even more surprising is that he and the Browns managed to work things out. After some negotiations, Garrett signed a 4-year, $160 million extension, a contract that firmly keeps him in Cleveland for the foreseeable future. That's a huge deal, especially for a player of his caliber, and it signaled that, at least for now, Garrett is committed to the Browns. However, the rumors haven't died down. Some analysts and insiders still believe there's a realistic chance that Garrett and the Browns could part ways down the line. It's all about the asking price. And here's where it gets really interesting. According to Zach Jackson from The Athletic, unless a team comes knocking with an offer of 3 first-round picks for Garrett, Cleveland probably isn't even going to entertain the idea of trading him. That's a steep price for any player, especially a 29-year-old pass rusher, no matter how dominant he's been this season. Jackson points out that Garrett has been transparent about his desire to play for a contender, and even though he re-signed with Cleveland, that doesn't mean the team is desperately trying to keep him at all costs. It's a strategic move, and right now, it seems almost impossible that Cleveland would accept such a high offer for a player they just gave a massive extension to. In fact, Garrett has had a pretty solid start to this season. Through 6 games, he's accumulated 23 tackles and 4 sacks. Those numbers are impressive, especially considering the overall struggles of the team. And this is a big but the team around him hasn't been able to keep up. The Browns have been inconsistent on both sides of the ball. Their offense has struggled to find rhythm, and the defense, despite Garrett's individual brilliance, has sometimes been caught out of position, leading to big plays by opponents. It's a classic case of a team with star power, but lacking cohesion and execution. Now, looking at the roster, there are a few other players who might be considered trade candidates, although the Browns are likely to hold onto their more valuable assets. Jerome Ford, the talented running back, could be a name to watch, especially if Cleveland is looking to rebuild or retool their roster. Similarly, tight end David Nook has been mentioned in some trade rumors, but given his talent and potential, the team would probably prefer to keep him around. It's worth noting that the Browns have a history of being cautious with their assets, and given Garrett's importance, it's unlikely they're seriously considering trading him unless the offer is astronomical. The reality is, though, that Cleveland's front office is probably going to continue listening to trade proposals, especially as the deadline approaches. But for Garrett, the situation is quite clear. Despite the rumors, the likelihood of him being traded this season is virtually zero. No team is going to give up 3 first-round picks for a player who just signed a new deal, and Cleveland knows his value is immense. It's a move that could define the franchise's direction for years to come. The team's front office will be weighing their options carefully, balancing the desire to contend with the need to rebuild, and Garrett's name will undoubtedly be at the center of those discussions. So, what does all this mean for the Browns moving forward? Well, it means that we can expect a lot of noise in the weeks ahead. Rumors will swirl, trade talks will heat up, and fans will be on the edge of their seats. But at the core of it all is the question of whether Cleveland can turn things around this season or whether they're looking more long-term. The talent is there, no doubt, but consistency and execution are key. The team's coaching staff will need to find a way to get the best out of their players, and the front office will be busy navigating a complicated landscape of trade possibilities and contractual commitments. And let's not forget, the AFC North is one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. The Bengals are fighting hard, the Ravens are always tough, and even the Steelers, with their recent trade rumors and squad adjustments, are a formidable challenge. So for Cleveland, it's not just about fixing their own issues. It's also about staying competitive within a division that's full of talent and ambition. Any major shift, especially involving a star like Garrett, could tip the scales significantly. If Cleveland manages to keep Garrett and find a way to improve their roster, they could very well make a late-season push or at least position themselves for a strong future. Now, for the fans listening, it's crucial to understand that this is a dynamic situation. The NFL is a league where things can change rapidly. One day, Garrett might be a Brown. The next, he could be in a different uniform if the right offer comes along. But right now, the consensus is that Cleveland's front office is in no rush to move him, especially not for a deal that doesn't meet their high standards. It's a fascinating scenario, and it keeps fans like us on our toes, wondering what's next for our beloved Browns. In conclusion, the Browns' season may not be going exactly as planned, but it's clear that the team's future is still very much up for grabs. The ongoing trade rumors, especially surrounding Garrett, highlight how much is at stake. Will Cleveland decide to rebuild, or will they push for a late-season surge? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the next few weeks are going to be critical, and Browns fans need to stay tuned, stay engaged, and keep supporting this team no matter what. Because in the NFL, anything can happen, and this season is proving to be one of the most unpredictable and exciting in recent memory. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.